All right, folks, buckle up. Tonight, we're diving into a world that's definitely not glamorous. The raw, gritty reality of life in the Middle Ages. Forget castles, knights, and fairy tale endings. Back then, just surviving the day was a full-time job. Picture this. You wake up covered head to toe in dirt, bugs, and who knows what else. Sounds gross? Yeah, it was. So, before we jump in, hit that like button if you're ready for a wild ride through history's ugly side. And don't forget to subscribe if you want more raw, no-fluff stories from the past. Also, drop a comment below. What's the worst thing you've ever woken up to? A bad hair day? Smelly room? Now imagine that, but 100 times worse. Welcome to medieval mornings. Now, imagine it's 1325. You're lucky to be alive. The downside? You're sharing your bed with fleas, lice, and basically an entire army of microscopic tormentors. Your mattress? A rotting pile of straw stuffed with bugs and smelling like a barnyard disaster. The blanket? Think sweat, dirt, and grime. No cozy fleece here. And pillows. Forget about it. The church bell rings like a drill sergeant, dragging you out of whatever restless sleep you managed. Your home? A tiny wooden shack with no windows and one cramped room, a cocktail of smells like stale beer, sweat, goats, and probably a few things you don't want to imagine. No fresh air, no scented candles, just darkness and dampness. And the reason people were shorter back then? Poor living conditions, constant infections, and malnutrition. Honestly, who'd grow tall and strong in that mess? You try to stretch, but your body screams in protest. At 22, you're basically old. Your back creaks, knees grind. Long days in the fields or hauling wood do that to you. Barefoot, you step onto a floor soaked from last night's rain or crusty with chicken droppings. Privacy? Nope. Your whole family, cousins, bugs included, share that one tiny room. Cozy, right? Welcome to medieval Europe mornings, where alone time was a myth. Time for nature's call. Big problem. No toilets, no privacy, no TP. Your bathroom options? A full, smelly bucket behind the hut, or a hole in the wall dumping directly into the street. And people would yell, "Gardez-vous," Old French for "watch out below," before tossing their waste out the window, if they were polite. Streets? Basically open sewers filled with human waste, animal poop, and God knows what else. Public latrines? If you wanted to sit cheek to cheek with strangers in a freezing, stinky outhouse with zero privacy, go for it. And toilet paper? Nope. People used straw, leaves, rags, moss, or just their hands. Hygiene? Non-existent. Even castle toilets dropped waste straight into the moat, which enemies quickly exploited during sieges. Talk about battlefield tactics. Made it this far? Congrats. Breakfast time? Don't get your hopes up. The morning meal was called pottage, a thick, sludgy stew of whatever scraps you could scavenge. It sometimes simmered for days, getting thicker and smellier by the hour. Bread? Hard as a rock, made with cheap grains mixed with sawdust or acorns to stretch supplies. No artisan sourdough here. Drink? Beer? Because water was often deadlier than hunger. Even kids drank weak ale for survival, not for fun. Meat and cheese? Only on rare feast days. Fresh fruit? Nope, unless you liked your wine vinegary. Spices? Luxury items locked away in castles, totally out of peasants' reach. So breakfast wasn't about joy, just survival. Feeling overwhelmed? Same here. But despite the misery, people still found moments of laughter, hope, and celebration. Festivals, music, storytelling. Life was brutal, but humans? resilient. What's one small modern comfort you're grateful for? Share below. Sometimes a little perspective makes us appreciate what we have. If you're still with me, hit subscribe. The story only gets wilder. Next up, the dangers lurking in medieval streets, disease, war, and the unexpected heroes who survived it all. So grab a clean drink and stick around. Before we jump in, let's get why life was so brutal. It wasn't just bad hygiene and food shortages. The Middle Ages were a tangled mess of social systems, beliefs, and struggles, especially if you weren't born with a silver spoon. Born at the bottom? You were probably a serf or peasant. You owned nothing, worked the land for a lord, and your life was dictated by seasons and your lord's demands. No fancy jobs, no retirement plans. Kids as young as 5 worked the fields too. Diseases were everywhere. The Black Death wiped out nearly half Europe's population. Before that, smallpox, typhus, cholera, deadly and common. No modern medicine meant infections were often death sentences. Crowded, dirty living quarters helped diseases spread fast. Hospitals were rare, and doctors often didn't know what they were doing. Europe was almost always at war. Kingdoms fought over land and power. Wars could last years, and peasants suffered most, as soldiers and victims of pillaging and famine. Villages burned, food stolen, families scattered. Real nightmare stuff. But here's the twist. Despite all the misery, people survived, and even thrived. They used clever strategies that might seem weird now: herbal medicine, home remedies, and guilds of craftsmen who protected each other's work and helped stabilize the economy. Festivals, music, storytelling, and religion gave people moments of joy and community. Religion wasn't just faith, it was a way to cope and find meaning. Medieval life wasn't just dirt and disease, it's a story of resilience and the human spirit fighting to survive. Makes you appreciate your comfy bed and clean water, right? In the next video, we'll cover medieval survival hacks, early toilets, medicine, famine, and harsh winters. Plus, meet some unexpected heroes who shaped history. If you like this deep dive, smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Also, tell me, what's the hardest thing you ever survived? Drop a comment and let's talk.